Hello and welcome everybody to episode 1 of the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Noé.
And we are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering topical news and deep dives into your favorite unknown comic books, movies, games, and more weekly. We appreciate you tuning in and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight.
So today we got episode 1, season 1 of one of my favorite shows, Southpark. Carmen gets an anal probe, so stick around.
But before we do, like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get to some top news out of the way before we dive into Southpark. Alrighty, story number 1. Netflix is set to force people that share an account to sign up for their own.
Yeah, I'm fucked. I've been using everybody's account. Like, god dang, how am I going to watch my favorite show, Squid Games, or other stuff? I don't watch a lot of Netflix.
Because we know they don't really have nothing.
Not anymore. I mean, Stranger Things, but I never it never got me, you know? Certain episodes or shows, they'll have that one moment you watch and you're like, oh, I need to see that for that. And like Game of Thrones, right?
Right.
I need to see that for the titties. And then it turns out to be a good show, so there you go.
But I mean, be honest though, Netflix doesn't have as many shows as what you would think that are actually like top tier shows. They've got a couple. They've got a couple.
Like those culture hits that just like because when Squid Games came out, right?
Right.
Everybody what show's big and popular if TikTok is doing nothing but video after video of that show.
And everybody's taking up that Halloween costume where it's got the PlayStation square on their head.
I never understood that. Like he legit the PlayStation symbols. But whatever. I know season 2's coming out, so I can't wait.
I hadn't seen that yet. I didn't know.
Squid Games?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out with a second season. Wednesday, that was okay.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it.
A little bit of a cultural type.
Yeah, that one hit big with
phenomenon.
people. It was so popular so quick that it just immediately went to season 2.
Yeah.
Like they're already making that. And what else?
I mean, there's a few other shows like Seven Deadly Sins is one.
Is that a Netflix original?
I don't know if it's a Netflix original, but I do know that they're one of the only ones that carry it.
Crunchyroll doesn't have it? God dang, if Crunchyroll doesn't have it, holy shit.
I can't remember if they do or not. They probably odds are they probably do.
You know what I saw on let me everyone brace yourselves. You know what I saw on Netflix recently? Neon Genesis Evangelion. You remember that show?
Yeah.
That I don't like. You watch it, right? And you think if you watch enough episodes, you'll be like, "Oh, I get it." But no, from the beginning to the end, you're like, "What the fuck is going on? I don't understand anything that's happening. I never know what the fuck is going on. I am so fucking."
Or they could have really fucked it up like they did He-Man.
He-Man, what they do to He-Man?
Or She-Ra.
She-Ra? She-Ra, Warrior Queen? Defender of the Universe? Or is that He-Man?
He-Man.
What they do to He-Man?
Yeah. They turned him into a little bitch.
Oh, well, that's what they always do with that character nowadays.
Well, Netflix is set to lose over 1 million subscribers if they do take this over.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to.
They think that if they force people to do this, they're going to get more signups. But I highly doubt that.
Because people are like, oh, I got no choice now. I love Netflix, but I can't do it for free.
Right.
Like, that's not going to happen. That's for damn sure.
But see, the problem with that is you got to have a good lineup to even
right. Like you have to have
try.
Something so compelling that they're like, God dang it, I got to buy Netflix now. Like if Invincible and The Boys was on Netflix, I'd be like, well, fuck.
And some people only sign up for Prime because of that.
Yeah, right. Like The Boys. If you see the season 3, God, you're not ready for season 3. Like, don't watch season 3 cold.
Yeah.
You gotta. Or am I on season 4? What season are we on The Boys? I think it's 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, with Soldier Boy. You know, what's the actor's name that played Dean? He's the actor that plays Soldier Boy in
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays Soldier Boy. Actually, the guy that made Supernatural originally, I think he's the creator of, or at least the showrunner of The Boys.
Yeah.
So you know his famous trunk opening? They open the trunk and they're looking. The trunk looks out at the people.
Right.
They do that a lot in The Boys too.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
A little homage, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, they do.
Plus, Invincible. I mean, like you see it, right? Like if you've never seen Invincible, the comic book, and you're like, hey, This is a cool little superhero cartoon. I'm gonna watch it. And then you get to the whole episode, the first episode. It's like a traditional. Oh, this is JLA, or it's those old superhero shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they get to the part where Omni-Man's just like, I'm about to fuck these people up, and you're like, oh my god.
It just destroys them.
That's what I'm saying. Like that hooked everybody.
Yeah.
I gotta see more episodes of this. Let me get Prime real quick.
I mean, look, at the end of the first season, he fucked up his own son. So
don't he beat the hell out of him? Why are you making me do this? Why are you making me beat your ass? I was like, what? You don't have to beat the hell out of him. But he sure did.
It's fatherly love. That's all it is.
That's some tough love.
All right. Now, the other one is the new Shazam movie trailer is out. And looks like a lot of people are going to start boycotting it due to James Gunn.
Oh, because of the whole Superman
and I don't blame him. I'll do the same thing. Henry Cavill was a really good Superman.
I'll boycott him because I don't want to see Shazam. I didn't like the first one. I don't want to see the second one.
See, I thought it was a good popcorn flick, though. Not necessarily the best superhero movie in the world, but it was kind of more of an upbeat, but I don't know, a little bit corny, but not to the extreme that some of the other ones were doing. Like, they didn't force the corniness, kind of the way Guardians of the Galaxy tried to in certain things.
I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy hit deep when he was holding out his hand. Grabbed my hand, and it was his mom he was seeing. Oh.
And then we got the second one.
Yeah, the second one was not as well. Yondu died, so that was kind of bad. But you want to hear something funny about Superman's cameo in Shazam?
What's that?
You know why you can't see his face? Like, all you see is like his from the neck down. That's all you see when he. You remember the end credit scene, right?
Yes.
Where Shazam comes in like, hey, Billy, his friend, like I got a friend for you, Billy, because he wanted to show the whole school that that Billy actually knew Superman because he told people he knew Superman.
Yeah.
And then they called him out on it or something, and then he Shazam, and now Superman shows up. The reason they don't show his face is because Netflix had the rights to Henry Cavill's face for those couple of years.
Oh, since he was in The Witcher?
Yeah, so no one was allowed to use his face. I was like, what the? You can own a man's face?
Hey, think about it, though, with AI and everything, whenever you sign those contracts for, like, perpetuity and stuff,
man,
they're going to just deep fake you
There's
completely.
There's going to be some real weird porn in the future. I can already tell.
God, your mind goes straight to porn.
Hey, man, I'm a dirty man. That's the only thing I think about. All right, so.
Alrighty, that is everything for the main top news for this week. Let's go ahead and
we
dive
should have
in.
like where we end like dun, 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 dun. It's the news today.
I can put that in.
I'm just saying, I'm joking around. Go ahead. I'm riffing, as they would say. Keep going.
Sure.
You're like, shut the fuck up.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into our slight deep dive with South Park.
Well, no? When I go deep, I go deep. Ain't no slight about it. You should take that off. You should not add that to the podcast.
I'll leave it.
All right, so South Park, son of a bitch. South Park, season 1, episode 1. Cartman gets an anal pro. That's the title.
It's a wonderful title.
It's pretty self-explanatory what happens to him. I love when the title tells you what's going on. It came out August 13th, 1997. God. And this was actually the first one. So they didn't have a pilot ready yet, or like a pilot or a season deal. So they did all the animations, they did all cutouts. Took them 3 months. They had to cut out every specific movement, the mouth moving, filming it. I was like, damn, 3 months. I'd have quit after a day trying to cut out little Cartman. Like, fuck this job.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. God, but 1997 though.
But now they're like billionaires.
And it's all done computer. With
it's
the
all
computer.
after that was just pure computers. You know the weird thing about them is that like other shows, they months in advance filming, editing, script writing, all that stuff.
I mean, I've heard the rumor they do it. Where
they do it in
like
6 days.
Yeah, the week of.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's some balls on them. And they never missed a deadline except for one time, and it wasn't their fault. And because of the deadline that they missed, they had to change their the way they did it. Maybe like 2 weeks ahead or some shit. But it was a power outage at the studio. Like an act of God is what had to stop them from being as baller as they were.
And they've covered a lot of big stories too.
They do. I mean, they can do it like it was yesterday. They can just do it the next day. That's how quick it is. Very topical. So, well, how do we start? Okay. So the boys, the iconic music going down to Southpark, looking for something. I forgot the whole song already. I've listened to like
Southpark, going to have myself time.
Yeah, that's it. So the theme song, you get that out of the way, and they start at the bus stop. The Kyle, Kenny, Stan, and Cartman, they're waiting for the bus to school, and out of nowhere, Kyle's little brother Ike pops in, and he's all fucking mad at he's following me to school. I can't explain this very well, am I? But I'm learning. So Ike shows up. And he's like, fuck, my brother followed me to school again. Because he keeps following him to school, trying to, follow his big brother.
With his head moving halfway in between.
Yeah, because he's Canadian, which is what you find out like half like the series end. Like, why the fuck is his head different than everybody else's head? So Cartman's like, your brother's a little fucking dildo. And Kyle's like, you don't call my brother a dildo, bro. What the fuck? So he's like, they start arguing. And Stan's like, what's a dildo? And Kyle's like, I don't fucking know. And I bet Cartman doesn't know either, do you? Like, I know what it is, but I'm not telling you. So he doesn't know either. None of them know what a fucking dildo is. So Stan adds like, hey Kenny, what's a dildo? Because Kenny's, he's like he's me, pretty much a pervert. Like, he knows everything. He's like, and Kenny, he talks. He's got the hood over his face. All you see is,
isn't it? Is it Trey or Matt that does it?
I think it's Trey.
Because I know that he covers his mouth whenever.
No, it's Matt.
Yeah, he covers his mouth completely.
I always get them confused.
Do you?
I think one's Matt, the other one's Trey, and it's always the other way around. And I've never not like every time I see them together, right?
Yeah.
It's always the first instinct, and I've never been able to fix it. Like, oh, that's Trey. No, that's Matt. That's Trey. Every single time. So Kenny explains what a dildo is. And of course, he knows what it is. And Cartman's like, well, yeah, that's Kyle's brother, all right. Kyle grabs Ike by the legs. And like a bat, he hits Cartman across the face. And just drops Cartman. Cartman's like, oh, shit. And drops him to the ground. And Stan's like, that's pretty cool. Like, oh, yeah, watch this. Kyle sets his brother up for the famous kick the baby.
Yeah.
So he kicks like a little football. And he kicks him so hard that he goes across the street into a bunch of mailboxes and just fucking crashes into all of them. And he's like, well, damn.
Well, you gotta make it as far as you can. That's the part of kick the baby.
Like I kick the hell out of him. So then Cartman they got to set up the next scene. So Cartman yawns. And like, oh, you didn't get a lot of sleep last night, huh? It's like, no, man, I was having a weird dream last night. So he narrates the dream, and you get to see the whole dream play out. So basically, Cartman's just laying in bed, he's chilling, and this blue light comes in over the through the window, and there's a UFO in the window, right? Like it's just like you can see it in the window floating, right?
Right.
So Cartman's like, man, I was sleeping in bed, and all of a sudden. I heard this strange noise, and the door opens, and these little, those gray aliens?
Yeah.
Like pretty much everyone knows what the grays look like. The gray.
The Roswell style aliens.
The round heads. It peeks his head through the window, and like the next thing I know, I'm getting dragged down a hallway. So these guys are dragging him down a fucking hallway, and what happened after that? So I drag him down a hallway. Then the next scene you see Cartman bent over an operating table, right? Stomach down. The aliens pull his fucking shorts down and they fucking go to town on his ass. And he's just fucking screaming like, oh my God. So,
hey, but to be fair, does he not deserve this in the first episode for things that he does later on in the entire series?
No one back then knew the fucking Damien that was gonna be let off into this world.
See, that was the catalyst.
Yeah, I was like, man, the catalyst was fucking chilly, but we'll get into that later.
I forgot that was the title.
So, he's like, they're just like, they're going off on his asshole, and he's just like screaming. And then the dream the flashback sequence goes away, back at the bus stop, and Stan and Carl are like, shit, that wasn't a dream, that was real. Those are visitors. And Carmen's like, no, it's just a dream. Like it's just a dream. Like, he doesn't want someone up his ass. It's like, no, that was visitors. They've been abducting people and mutilating cows. Like they fucked you up, Carmen. It's like, no, it's just a dream. I swear.
It's for like 40-year-old men that get a prostate exam. And it was just a dream. It never happened.
It's just a pinky. I swear. It wasn't. Fucking a 7-inch dildo goes up his ass. So then Chef pulls up. Good old shot. I missed that voice actor.
Hey, kids.
Hello, children. Hello, children. And they're all like, hey, Chef. They're like, what's for lunch today, Chef? He's like, oh, he's got Salisbury steak with buttered noodles and a choice of green bean casserole or vegetable medley. And fucking Carmen's like, just fucking licking his lips like, oh, hell yeah. like, hey, children, did you see that UFO last night? And Carmen's like, he gasped. He's like, oh my God, what do you mean that UFO last night? It's like, yeah, Carmen saw it. They took him up in the spaceship. It's like, no, that was a dream. Like, did they have that big heads and black eyes? Carmen, every time he says something, they make Carmen gasp. He's like, no. He's like, did they give you an anal probe? He's like, I should be breathing into his mic. But he's like, what's that? Kyle's like, well, what's an anal probe? He's like, they shoved this big ass metal hoop up your ass. And Carmen's like, God dang, Carmen, they shoved a metal hoop up your ass? Like, no, it's just a dream. And so Chef's like, all right, children, I gotta go to the cafeteria and get lunch ready. Like, you watch that fat boy now. Make sure he's not under alien control. And the chef turns around and he's got a shirt on the back of his shirt has the picture of an alien, and underneath it had words that said "believe." And Carmen's like, just watching Carmen gasp is hilarious to me. So he's like, sorry about your ass, Carmen. So Kyle said that to him.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just a dream.
Still in denial.
So yeah, he's gonna be in denial I guarantee you the whole episode. So the bus arrives and Carmen, Stan, and Ken, they're all walking to the bus. Like, why are you walking so funny, Carmen? Like, shut up, bro. So Stan, Carmen, and Kenny get on the bus, and Kyle's little brother Ike is still there. So he's like, damn it, Ike. Like, all right, this is for the win. He's gonna kick the baby again, right? Fucking kicks him through one window of the bus, out the other window of the bus. And fucking, that's the last time you see, like, Stan goes up to the bus driver, Mrs. Crabtree, like, hello, Mrs. Crabtree. And she's like, shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, we're fucking late. Fucking yelling at him.
And how many bus drivers do you think really wish could say that?
Probably all of them.
Exactly.
Sure, I keep breathing into this mic. It's making me mad. So sorry if I breathe. I'm fucking sniffing this mic. I'm not. So they get on the bus, and Kyle's standing on the back of the bus, and they're like, Kyle's like, shit, my brother's still at the bus stop. And Stan's like, man, it's fine. It's whatever. Like, no, it's not fine, bro. If my parents find out something happened to Ike, I get my ass fucking beat. Because of him. And he because he's standing up looking out the window. Crabtree's like, yo, sit down back there. And Stan's like, hey, whatever, you fat bitch. Like, what did you say? Like, I got a bad itch. So then after that little altercation, Kyle looks back out the window, and lo and be fucking hold, the Grays have Ike. He's like, oh fuck. So, yo, Miss Crabtree, you gotta stop the bus. He hauls ass all the way down to the front of the bus. Like, Miss Crabtree, they got my brother, and she's like, sit down, shut up. She fucking screams in his face, and he runs back to the back, and he fucking scared the shit out of him. He's like, Stan's like, yo, Carmen, those the aliens you saw last night? Like, shut the, that's a dream. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's still a dream.
Yeah,
it's a daydream at this point.
And like, Kyle's like, oh, bro, we gotta do something. They got my brother. It's like, we can't do anything. That fat bitch won't let us. Crabtree's like, what? It's like, rabbits eat lettuce.
Rabbits eat lettuce.
So then Miss Crabtree, she fucking takes a hard ass turn, and all the kids from one side of the bus fly to the other side of the bus. And so Kyle's still freaking like, what are we gonna do, bro? My brother, they got my brother. And then Stan farts, and Kenny's like, oh, you farted. Or Kyle's like, oh, you farted. And then Carmen says, oh, someone's baking brownies. So yeah, because Kyle was freaking out.
His little fat ass though. Yeah.
So yeah, because because Kyle was freaking out, Stan farted and he calmed down apparently. So the UFO just leaves Earth, like it's gone. The UFO I guess they had him in there and they just left. So we end up at a ranch with Officer Bar Brady, and him and a rancher, are looking at a cow. It's just like cow bones,
right,
and blood. And the rancher's like, and there's a bunch of cows. There's like a whole herd of cows watching the cow and watching them talk. And the rancher's like, Officer Barber, you gotta do something. This is the third mutilation this week. It's like, there's nothing unusual here. Cows turn inside out all the time.
The most incompetent cop there is.
He is truly. And in the first few seasons, he was horrendous. But he got really cool toward the later season when you find out he had a dog.
Didn't he get fired for shooting a black person or something like that later on in the series?
Yeah, that's the story. Like he had to turn in his badge, he had to turn in his gun, he had to turn in his fucking sunglasses, bro. Damn. Took a man's sunglasses. He can take his pride, but not his sunglasses. So the rancher's like you don't understand. People have been talking about UFOs going around and black army helicopters. And Barbara's like, that's just silly. And then like a whole squad of black army helicopters go across the street. And the rancher's like, what was that? And Barbara's like, that was just a pigeon. That's just a pigeon. So they keep talking, but their conversation goes into the background. And you see the cows looking out in some distance at some trees. And they're looking at the trees, and out of the trees come out the grays. And the grays start trying to entice the cows to come over to them with some hay. And that just freaks the cows out, and they fucking dip out of the ranch. The ranch is like, my cattle! And Officer Barber is like, there's nothing weird going on. I'm going to catch those cows. I promise you. So, now we're at the Southpark Elementary. One of the main places in the video game. Which is, I love those games.
Yeah.
Mr. Garrison is standing in front of the class. He's got, Mr. Hat. If you guys don't know Mr. Hat, he's a little hand puppet that that Mr. Garrison talks through because he's fucking crazy.
This is before all the
before,
transitions.
Before everything he did, yeah. It's just regular Mr. Garrison being crazy with a hand puppet. And he's teaching a lesson about Christopher Columbus. Let me regale you with his lesson on Christopher Columbus. He was talking through Mr. Hat the whole time. He's like, all right, so Christopher Columbus, you know what this man did? He discovered America. He was the best friends to the Indians. Helped the Indians win the war against Frederick Douglass. Freed the Hebrews from Napoleon and discovered France. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So he's just making shit up as he goes. Of course, Kyle's not listening because his brother just got kidnapped and he's trying to figure out what the fuck to do. And Stan's like, it's like, bro, it's okay. Like, it's not okay. If my father my father finds out, I'm not gonna hear the end of it. And then he starts doing his father's voice, like what his father would say. So he's like, where's your brother, Kyle? You weren't looking out for him, Kyle. And he starts getting louder. And Stan's like, dude, calm down. He can't think on his own, Kyle. Brush and floss, Kyle. Where has that finger been, Kyle? And then that pretty much like, dude, calm down. Then Mr. Garrison, of course, hears all this commotion. He's like, what's going on, Kyle? It's like, Mr. Garrison, I need to be excused from class. Like, oh, what is it this time? Another prostate tumor? And like, no, my little brother's been abducted by aliens. It's true. Ask Carmen. They put a anal probe up his ass, and Carmen, he's like, that's just a little joke. He's looking at the whole class like he's embarrassed as fuck. Like, no, he's just joking. They don't dig up my ass. It's like, can I please be excused from class? And Mr. Garrett's like, oh, you got to ask Mr. Hat. Like, I don't want to ask Mr. Hat. I'm talking to you. Like, I think you should ask Mr. Hat. So Kyle's like, Mr. Hat, can I please be excused from school? He's like, no. No, you hear me? You go, what do you say? You go to hell. You go to hell and you die. And so he takes his seat. Fucking Carmen's laughing at him. Here we go. Here's where the fucking show picks up. Carmen's laughing at him, right? Like, oh, you got yelled at by Mr. Hat. And then he farts, right? Carmen farts loud as fuck, and a fucking fire shoots at his ass. He's like, oh, my ass, my ass. And like, oh, dude, and then he farts again, and more fire shoots at his ass. Oh, God, my asshole. And Stan's like, bro, the alien probe, it's shooting fire at your ass. Like, no, that was just a dream. Garrison's like, Carmen, do you need to sit in the corner to get your flatulence under control? It's like, no, Mr. Garrison. And he farts again. He farts with so much force that the fire cakes over another kid and lights him on fire. So now this little boy is running back and forth in the classroom, just in flames. You know, he's not strong. I guess they haven't taught stop, drop, and roll yet. So he's fucking hauling ass while he's on fire.
Just running on fire.
Yeah. So we go back. We follow the cows, and they're at the train station trying to get out of town. For some reason, they thought the train station would get them out. And the conductor's like, "What are you cows doing here? You can't get on this train. This is the people train." And the cows are just staring at him. He's like, no, don't you try that cow hypnosis on me. And Barb Betty pulls up, and the cows see him, and they dip.
Because he's still after him.
He's pretty much, the whole episode, he's going to be after him. And so we go back to school, and all four of them are in line at the cafeteria. Of course, Carmen's in the back, right? And he's like, he fucking blows another fire ball. He's like, oh, my ass. Then he's like, damn, I can't wait for that Salisbury steak. It's like, Carmen, how can you think about food right now when you're shooting fire at your ass? Like, don't be so immature, bro. So then Kyle's like, oh, there's Wendy Testaburger. And Stan, being a fucking simp, he's like where's she at, bro? So then you see Wendy Testaburger, Stan's little crush. And, you know, the whole music swells, the whole romantic music.
Yeah.
And you go back to Kyle. Or no, you go back to Stan, and you got the little cartoony heart bubbles around his head, and then he gets a smile so far up his fucking face, like the edges could have almost touched the brim of his fucking snow cap. Was how fucking big the smile was, and Carmen's making fun of him like, oh, you love Wendy Testaburger, don't you? Like, I don't even like her, bro. Like, oh, you don't like her? Then how come you throw up every time you go talk to her? It's like, I do not. So Wendy comes over. He's like, hi, Kyle. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Stan. And Stan's like, blah, blah, blah. Fucking throws up all over the floor. And she gives him a note. He's like, here, Stan. And he's like, blah, blah. Still fucking throwing up. And on the note, it's like, oh, holy crap, she wants to meet me at Stark's Pond. And so he's all excited. Now, I don't know why she would give him a note after he fucking vomited all over the damn floor.
Right.
But she wants to meet him at Stark's Pond later tonight after school. So he's all excited, like, oh, shit. He's like 7 or 8. So what's he expecting? To hold hands or something?
We all know he's expecting more.
I don't know. And so Kyle's like, oh, maybe you get to kiss her. Carmen's like, maybe you slip her the tongue. And then Kenny says something, but it's muffled, right?
Right.
So you only get to hear what Stan's like, what? How do you know she has a cat? So, you know, he's talking about something else. So Kenny starts laughing. The other three are confused, but then they don't want to be left out, so they start laughing too. So it's all four of them just laughing for no reason.
Yeah.
They get to the serving station. Chef's behind the counter giving out food. It's like, hello, children. I can't do it. I wish I could do a good voice. Hello there, children. No, that sounded even worse. Hello there, children. Not good.
Sounds like an old man.
Like, hello there, children. I don't like some candy. I'm not a pedophile, I swear.
Just start playing Herbert the Pervert.
I can't do his voice either. The voice stuff is hard, actually. So, how you guys doing? Like, Kyle's like, bad. Like, why bad? It's like, Chef, have you ever had something happen to you, but nobody believes you? It's like, oh, children, everyone goes through that once or twice in their life. It happens to everybody. Let me play you a little song to help you. Like, for some reason, he thought the song was going to explain his situation, right?
Right.
So his chef's like, I'm going to make love to you, woman. I'm going to throw you down by the fire. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with I forget the third song, the third lyric, But the fourth one's like, make you moan and perspire. So I'm like, so then he starts getting really into the song, making love, making la 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 la. And Stan's like, chef, la 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 la, chef, la 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 la. And I chef. And so it's like, oh, he finally breaks him out of his erotic trance. And the chef's like, oh, sorry, my bad. You feel any better? And Kyle's like, no, what the, no. It's like, oh, what could be so bad? It's Salisbury steak day. It's like, aliens kidnapped my brother. What the hell are you doing in school? Eating Salisbury steak. You gotta go find him. He fucking flips out. And Kyle's like, Mr. Garrison won't let us. He thinks I'm making it all up. And Carmen's like, you are making it up. And then fucking fire shoots out of his ass. And then a fucking probe comes out with it. And the probe's like got an eyeball, like two little antennas and like little arms. And it's got like his arms crossed, like he's upset. Like, why the fuck am I out here? Like it's sentient, right? And then Chef is like, oh, it must be some sort of metamorphosis symbiotic device. Or he says some random scientific words, and I'm pretty sure I had no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
Nothing to do with what it actually is.
So he, and it goes right back up his ass. It's like, I don't worry, kids. I gotta help these children. So he pulls the fire alarm, and so they can leave school. So like, oh hell yeah, thank you, Chef. Like you got it. So Chef leaves too, because he wants to get ready for the aliens to show up. So I gotta get ready for the visitors. So he dips out. The kids leave. So the kids are walking down the the street. My fucking throat's. The kids are walking down the street, and they're fucking singing. They're like, oh, we're out of school today. They completely forgot about Ike. And then Carmen's like, he farts again, some more fire. And he's like, you guys, my ass, seriously. just the fucking desperation in his voice. Like, my ass, it can't take much more flames. It's like we gotta do something for we gotta save my brother. Kyle's freaking out, and Carmen's like, I'm so sick of this alien talk. All right, I am not under alien control. I did not get an anal probe. All this, all that. And then some weird ray hit. It looks like a lightning bolt hits Cartman, right? And he transforms. He gets rosy red cheeks, goofy eyes, and he starts singing. I love to singer. Like I love to singer. I love to move. Or fuck, what was the song? I love to singer. I completely forgot the song. I was singing it a second ago, wasn't I? But I looked up the song, right? Because it was weird to me. That was just a random, like, I thought maybe they made up a song or something.
Right.
But it's July 18, 1936. It's a little cartoon about an owl that wants to play jazz.
Right.
But his dad, being a disciplinarian, and he's really into classical, he wants him to just play his classical music that he wants. Right. So he likes to play, I love to sing. I like to... Move and fuck, I can't even. I wish I could sing for you guys, but I can't remember now. Like the Mova and the Juna. Oh, I like the singer. Like the Muna and the Juna and the Springer. I love the singer. Something like that. But it's if you see it, you know exactly what it is. Like you've probably seen it 100. Every kid's probably seen it once. And the song is the little cartoon is a tribute to a jazz film by Al Jolson, the jazz singer.
Right.
I looked up that video, and boy, a lot of blackface. I was like, oh boy. So you get ready for that. The little owl's name is Al Johnson, and the guy that was in the jazz singer, his name is Al Jolson. Right, so that's yeah. So
it's a true tribute to
yeah. You know what his father wanted him to sing?
What's that?
It's called "Drink to Me Only with Thine Eyes" by playwright Ben Jonson in 1616. Lyrics are from the poem to Celia. I hope all of you are ready for this. Here's what his dad wanted him to sing. Drink to me only with thine eyes, or leave a kiss within the cup, and I'll not ask for wine. The thirst that from the soul doth rise, doth ask a drink divine. But might I of Jove's nectar sup, I would not change it for thine. I sent thee late a rosy wreath, not so much honoring thee, as giving it a hope that there it could not withered be. But thou thereon didn't only breathe, and synthesis, it was a weird word, it back to me. Since when it grows and smells, I swear, not of itself but thee. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So the bullet hits Carmen again, and he goes back to normal. He's like, son of a bitch. He's mad as fuck. He's like, Carmen, do you believe us now? Like, no, it was just a dream. So Kyle gets in Carmen's ear, and he yells at the aliens through Carmen's probe. And because you can hear like an echo when he's screaming at Carmen's ear. It's like, you give me back my brother, you sons of bitches. And he's like screaming right in Carmen's ear. So Carmen's like, what the fuck? Get the fuck off of me. An alien ship shows up, and Kyle grabs a rock, and he fucking flings it and hits the ship. And the ship's like, immediately goes into retaliation mode. It shoots a rocket, and it hits Kenny and knocks him into the street. And then the ship just dips. So Kenny gets up. Or Stan thought Kenny was dead. Like, oh, they just killed Kenny. Like, oh, no, he's okay. Kenny gets up. It's like, fucking thumbs up. And then a bunch of cows run him over. They just trample the fuck out of him. So he's like, oh, they got him. So Kenny gets up again. It's like, oh, he's still alive. And then Barbrady fucking clips him with his car. And he kills him. So Kenny's just laid out by the side of the road, just fucking dead. He's like, you believe us now, Cartman? Kenny's dead. Like, no, it was just a dream. I got no alien problem, my asshole. And I look, Cartman, and then fucking Kyle grabs Kenny's head and fucking rips it off his fucking body. He fucking just drops it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Then a bunch of they start arguing. A bunch of rats in the meantime are eating Kenny's body, and then a bunch of other rats roll Kenny's head away and just take it with them. I don't know what the fuck they do with it, but they probably just eat it. So Carmen's like, I'm done with this. I'm going home. Carmen leaves. And so like Kyle's like to Stan, what are you gonna do now, bro? So I don't know about you, but I need to go get this lovin' while the lovin's good. So he goes to Stark's pond and just leaves Kyle there. It's like, what the fuck, bro? He pretty much just, he gave it the old bros before hoes. He just left him hanging.
Yeah.
So ow, fuck, I hit my head. So Carmen gets home and his mom's there, and she's like, oh, she's got fucking food ready for him. Fucking powdered donut pancake surprise. I don't know what the fuck that is, but is it like, she's like, I got you some powdered donut pancake surprise, and Carmen's like, I don't want any, and when the school says I'm fat. It's like, you're not fat, you're just big bone. That's what I say. And they still call me fat. Like, I don't want any powdered donut pancake surprise. It's like, are you sure? It's like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm done with today. It's like, well, how about some chocolate pot pie? And Carmen's like, chocolate pot pie? Well, fuck. Now you're speaking my language. So he fucking climbs up on the couch. But they're so small, right? Like, he looks like he's climbing a ladder. It takes like 4 or 5 climbs to get on the couch. He sits on the couch. His mom's like, you want some cheesy poofs too? And he's like offended. Like, yeah, I want some cheesy poofs. Why would you even ask me that? Just bring them when I get home. And he's like, he tells his mom, like, Mom, if anyone shows up, anyone at all asking for me, tell them I'm not here. She's like, okay. So now Stan and Kyle are waiting for Wendy at Stark's Pond. And I'm like, Kyle, are you going to be a third wheel? Like, I hate that. Like, I used to be a third wheel all the time with my friend. Like, it would be me, him, and his girlfriend. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm sick of being the third wheel. So I don't know why he wanted to be the third wheel. Who the fuck wants to be the third wheel? But you're sitting there by yourself, right? And they're over there giggling and making, you know what? I should stop talking because I'm about to go into a fucking rant about being a third wheel. Like, you're fucking sitting there. They're all fucking giggling and laughing to each other. Their little inside jokes. They don't tell you a damn thing what the fuck's going on. I'll stop talking. So Wendy shows up, right? And Stan, she says, like, hey, Stan. He's like, blun, blun. He's already fucking throwing up. I don't know how much food he has in his stomach, but he's gonna be throwing up a lot. So Kyle's like, he looks at Wendy like, Wendy, can you two hurry up and make that sweet love down by the fire so we can go find my brother? And she's like, what? She's all confused, and she's like, she says something to Stan. Stan throws up again, so that's 2 times he threw up just now. That's like 3 altogether he threw up today. Probably fucking delirious this after a while. So, Wendy asks, what happened to your brother, Kyle? And then it cuts back to Cartman. He's on the couch. He's eating his pot pie, and he's watching the news. And the reporter on the news is like, increase in alien sightings, mysterious crop circle markings in fields everywhere, and they show a picture of a crop circle image. It looks like an eyeball, and then it pans out for the full image, and it's just a fucking thing of Cartman, just Cartman in the field, and Cartman's like, "Oh, that looks like Tom Selleck."
Tom Selleck.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" So the cat comes in, right? And it's already wants some pot pie, and Cartman's like, "No, kitty, this is my pot pie." And the cat won't leave. It's like, "Yeah, mom, kitty's being a dildo." And this is what Cartman's mom said. This is verbatim. "Then I know a certain kitty who's sleeping with mommy tonight." I'm like, what? And so you can already, Bestiality, episode 1, South Park, season 1, already referenced.
This is also the first episode.
The very first episode, already, Bestiality. So Carmen's like, what? It caught me off guard. So we're back at Stark's Pond. We're at the tail end of Kyle telling, it's not like when you walk in on someone halfway through a conversation, right? That's pretty much what's happening. Like, he's finishing up telling Wendy everything that happened to his brother. And Wendy immediately has a plan. It's like, why don't we just go get Cartman? Because he's obviously part of something the Greys are doing. We get Cartman. We use him as bait to lure the Greys here. And then we get your brother. And Kyle's, that's a good idea. And they leave. And they're like, come on, Stan. And Stan's like, what about that sweet lovin'? So fucking confused. Like, I want that sweet lovin'. So we come back to Cartman's house. The kitty's still screaming at him. He's like, no, kitty, it's a bad kitty. It's my pie. And he farts, lights the cat on fire. The cat fucking runs around the whole damn house lit on fire. And Cartman's mom walks into the room, and she's got Wendy, Kyle, and Stan with her. And Cartman's like, well, good job, Mom. I told you not to bring any motherfucker in this house. And that's the first thing you do. And Kyle's like, hey, Cartman. Kyle's lying to him, like, let's go play by the bus stop. And Cartman's like, I'm not going out there with you. And his mom's like, it's good for you to go out and hang out with your friends. And Cartman's like, I'm not. And then he's like, he still doesn't want to go, right? And she fucking snaps at him. Like, do not be difficult. Get the fuck outside. So Cartman's like, fuck. So we cut to the next scene, and they're fucking tying a rope to Cartman's foot and to a tree. Like, one end on his foot and one end on the tree. So here you go, Cartman. This way, the aliens, when they try to abduct you, they can't take you because you're tied to a tree. And Cartman's like, this is some of the dumbest shit I've ever had to be a part of. So they wait, and nothing happens. They're like, Cartman, do something. And Cartman's like, what? And he fucking blows fire out his asshole. Like, oh! He's been blowing fire. Like, his fucking pants must be fucking ruined. So he blows fire at his asshole again, and Kyle's like, that's it. Keep shooting fire, and it'll draw the aliens in. And it's like, I don't think I can fart anymore tonight. And it's like, Cartman, you need to fart, you fat bastard. And Cartman's like, that's fucking it. Why is it that everything that has happened in this today has involved something either going into or out of my asshole? And all the while that he's saying this, right? Like, he's having this big ass, he's just cussing him out. He's like, I am so sick of this bullshit. It was just a dream. I didn't get any probed. And there's a big fucking satellite dish coming out of his asshole. Like, it's just like, it's 80 feet tall. It comes out, and the hoop comes out, like it springs out like that. And it's like, well, there's a fucking satellite. Like, it's like, if you imagine Cartman sitting here, right? And then an 80-foot ass satellite out his ass next to him, the juxtaposition of it is fucking hilarious. So he's just sitting there with a fucking satellite up his ass. And we go to, and so then, like, now do you believe it's Cartman? There's a 80-foot satellite at your asshole. I don't believe a damn thing you say to me. So he's still in denial. So we cut to the chef's backyard. He's in the back on a fucking lawn chair with a drink called Zoop. Zoop. Yeah, like some made up drink for the show. ZOOP. I don't know whether it's beer or soda. He's got a sign that says welcome visitors in a fucking ice chest. He's got fucking a pink bathing suit on. He's got sunglasses in the middle of the night. That shit irks the fuck out of me.
Sunglasses at night.
Sunglasses at night or indoors. I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you, The Rock? And he's like, come on, visitors, come on in. Like, I'm waiting. I'm ready for your wisdom, but you only have 20 minutes because Sanford and Son's coming on, so they gotta hurry. So Cartman's like, there are no aliens, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of spaceships come down. So the little ships come down first that we've seen the whole episode, and then this big ass mothership comes down with it. the aliens teleport down, and then Kyle's like he starts pleading for his brother. He's like, he's like, I learned something today. That's a thing they do out through the series. He's like, I learned something today. At the end of the episode, what they learned.
Yeah.
Try to be like a touching, like it's all played for laughs, like a touching moment. Like, I learned something today. Like, it's better to have a brother than to not have a brother, or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Like, I can't stand my sister. I wish you had a drop kick on the face right now. But I guess some people love their siblings. I sure don't. Wish you got a fucking choke slammer through a table. So, fuck her. I can't stand her. Fuck that bitch. Throw some acid, turn into Two-Face. Anyway, I may have gone too far.
Just a tad.
Hit her with a fucking roll of quarters or something. So he Kyle bows his head down like, did they buy it, bro? And Stan's like, man, that was beautiful, but no, they're leaving. So he fucking flips out and starts cussing them out, right? Like cussing them out, like to the point where, like, for some reason in the DVD I have, it's still censored, the swear words.
Really?
Yeah, so it's just like beep, 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 beep. I'm like, holy shit. He's just going off. I guess it was done for laughs anyway, so
yeah,
that's why they kept it. So he cusses them out, but they don't do anything. And then on the mothership, a door opens, and Ike's just standing there. Like, bear in mind, it's up in the fucking sky. There's the mothership's still floating. So, and Ike's just standing on the fucking doorway of the mothership. And so Ike's like, yo, or no, Kyle's like, jump, Ike, because he wants him to try. Like, I'll catch you or some bullshit. So then the herd of cows come in, and they just happen to accidentally bump into the grays. Like, out of nowhere, this whole fucking town, they end up together. So the cows bump into the grays, and they have nowhere else to run. So they're trembling about what the cows are about to do to them. But the cows then, they speak in their language. They start mooing. Yeah, I know. And they start talking to him. They greet him like, hey, we come in peace. We've experimented on every being on this planet, and we found the cows to be the most intelligent and wise. And the cows are like, then why did you guys turn some of us inside out? It's like, oh, that was just Carl. He's new. And Carl's like, my bad. My bad. I killed half of your fucking family, you know? Like, Carl, the new guy in fucking whatever department that was mutilating cows by accident. So it turns out the Greys are just there in peace to meet another intelligent life form. So they give the cows a gift. Like, here you go, a gift for being the most intelligent beings of your planet. I don't know what the reason was for them to talk to each other. But they give them this. It has a base, this device. It has a base, a spring, and on the spring is a round disc. And next to the disc is a pole with like an outlet. Kind of looks like those old timey phones that you had to put up to your ear and then when you talk through.
Yeah.
So they give him the gift, and all the while that they kept so Kyle's still trying to get his brother to jump down, and his brother would not jump off who would jump off of a fucking 80 feet up in the sky. So if Kyle's finally like Ike, do your impersonation of David Caruso's career, and he fucking jumps. He jumped and he lands softly into the snow below. Like, David Caruso?
Yeah.
You know what happened in the 90s?
I don't remember.
Let me refresh everybody. David Caruso. So he was doing bit parts in movies and TV shows for years. And then in 1992, he hit big. He got on the show NYPD Blue. Now, this show went on to have 12 seasons and 261 episodes. He got, for his work that he did in that first season of NYPD Blue, he got a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Television Drama. He won that. He was Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series nominated. Viewers for Quality Television Award for Best Actor in a Quality Drama Series nominated. So he was like that's, you hit big, right? All those years of working in bit roles, now you have a major role, and you're well known. And what did this dumb motherfucker do? 4 episodes into season 2, he quits NYPD Blue. As I said, they went on for 12 seasons after that.
Did he ever say a reason?
Yeah, he wanted to be a movie man. He's gonna go make it big in movies. So here, let's look at the movies he did in '95. So he had two movies in '95: Kiss of Death and Jade, 1995. That he got nominated. He got nominated for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst New Star. Both of those got nominated. He lost to Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls. You ever seen Showgirls? Yeah. You remember the pool scene in Showgirls? That girl can splash is all I can say. So this, of course, South Park, this episode came out August 13, 1997. So his career was in a fucking downward spiral around that time.
Yeah.
All he had going on at the time was a Michael Hayes TV show that only lasted a season. It was his first attempt back on TV. And some shitty TV movie called Gold Coast. I didn't even look up the Wikipedia because I didn't give a damn about it.
I hadn't heard of either one of those.
Exactly. So that was topically perfect for what was going on.
Yeah.
But on a good note, in 2002, he ended up in CSI Miami. And he learned his lesson. Because he lasted that show 10 seasons, 232 episodes. And he stayed for all that.
So he didn't screw it up this time?
He didn't screw up. But here's a lesson for everybody. If you hit big on a TV show, why don't you fucking stay in that TV show? And don't try to be a movie man.
Don't reach for something. It's kind of like that story of...
Icarus?
It's basically like the Icarus story or the story of... a woman goes to this department store with 4 floors on it, right?
Uh-huh.
The first floor, it's a man that is nice and stuff like that. And she says, I want to go to the next floor. The next floor, he's got money, he's got everything. So then they go to the third floor, and it's like, okay, I want a guy that is super nice to kids, has money, and has a great career.
God dang, girl, you want the whole goddamn jackpot.
But that's not good enough, so she wants to go to the next floor, and there's nobody up there, and it says, this is why you're alone.
Ouch. So yeah, he wanted to be a movie man.
He was trying to reach that 4th floor and there was nothing there.
Right. What he should have done was he was trying to reach floor 2 and there was nothing there because he was barely. Like, why don't you try to be a movie star while you're have that backup of being on TV? You know, like do your movies in between the seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know, David Caruso. What the fuck were you thinking? Leave a comment. You fucking comment cussing us the fuck out. So the satellite retracts back into Cartman's ass. The aliens leave, and then the mothership tries to take Cartman, but the rope's holding him down. Like, you guys, help me! like for real though, they're trying to take me for real. And of course, he fucking farts, and the fire ignites the rope, and it rips, and he like, you sons of bitches! And it fucking takes them, and then they're just fucking gone. And Chef's like, he's been watching from the distance. I don't know why he didn't help. But he's like, wait, aliens, where are you going? And then these 2 women show up, and he's like, all right. One of them's like, okay, Chef, what's this amazing thing you want to show us? And he's like, well, ladies, it's in the bedroom. Follow me. So Stan thanks Wendy, and she says, like, oh, it's no problem, whatever. And he doesn't throw up. So then she leans in for a kiss, right? Fucking throws up in her face. So it's the next morning. Stanica, fucking 4. Now there's 2. It's the next morning. Stanica at the bus stop waiting for the bus. And Stan's like, I wonder what that device was that the cows got from the aliens. And it cuts to Bar Betty cornering, like, I got you, cows. I got you now. And the cows press down on the gold disc on the spring. And it's like the ray gun. What did the Cartman? It did the Bar Brady too. So he's like, I want to sing about the Mooner and the Juna and the Springer. I want to. So he's just fucking singing the whole one. I want to sing. And they come back to the bus station, and fucking Cartman falls out of the sky, fucking like Merwin, like that. You remember Merwin?
Yeah.
That dude that fucking drops out of the sky in the middle of nowhere, fucking flops down. He's like, oh shit, Cartman, you good? Well, you all right? He's like, damn, guys, I had this weird ass fucking nightmare last night. And then he's like, I was out in the middle of a field, tied to a tree. There was a huge satellite disc coming out my ass. There was cows and aliens everywhere. Then I got taken up on the spaceship, and Scott Baio gave me pink eye. And I'm like, Chachi gave you pink eye? So Kyle's like, Kyle, Carmen, that wasn't a dream. That really happened. Like, oh yeah? If it happened, how come I don't have pink eye? Kyle's like, Carmen, you do have pink eye. He's like, son of a bitch. And the episode's over. So that's episode 1, season 1 of South Park. Oh man.
And people wonder why it went on to be such a hit.
Yeah, people, if they know comedy, if you know comedy, you know why. It's a damn good show. Well,
and it's only become a little bit more controversial lately.
It's become more successful too.
Very much so.
Fucking Paramount, that Paramount deal with them was like $1 billion. They bought Casa Bonita because of it. They fucking brought back Casa Bonita. My ass is killing me, by the way. Sitting in this damn chair. I must have the flattest ass known to man. Because I'm always uncomfortable after a long period. I see people sit for hours, right? And I can't sit for 20 minutes. Like, my fucking booty hole starts tickling.
More information than the listeners needed.
Hey, man, if you're gonna be here for our podcast, you're gonna hear it all the dirty secrets.
Things you might not want to know about, no way.
But things you have no choice but to hear. So, how do we do?
All right, we're wrapping up. And Noe said that he has some kind of a new word for us. Oh,
yes. I forgot. So, if you all know the Urban Dictionary, it came out in 1999. Son of a bitch, where is it? It started by... If I can't find it, you guys can't hear it. It's here somewhere, don't worry. You guys just, whatever you're doing, jacking off, whatever, you go ahead. I'm assuming people jack off when they listen to us. Who wouldn't want to hear this awesome voice? So I may have overdone it on that one. Here we go. So it was founded by Aaron Pinkman in 1999 as a parody to the dictionary.com. And now it's got like 20 million entries and like 3,000 being added every single day.
Yeah.
But it's just a pure entertainment site. Like you don't expect this to be an authority on a specific word. But I figured we can end the show.
But isn't it funner to think that it is?
Yeah. Well, some of these words, they permeate throughout the whole human language. So I figured we can end the show on some of the more of enlightened words I found. So here we go. Let me see. So this was uploaded by Funny669 on June 30th, 2018. Ramen party. An orgy with a bunch of Asians. I don't know.
It's because there's a bunch of noodles and a lot of liquid.
I didn't even think. God dang. Thanks a lot for that image. I didn't even think of that. All right, so Michael's dying. All right, so word number 2, uploaded by Mr. Piangus on October 19th, 2015. Bottom trawl. Dragging your penis on that ass. D-A-T, no less. Ass. I guess it's like hot dogging, right? So do you drag it across or drag it up and down? You good? You fucking dying back up there. All right, last one. Uploaded by Kill Station Slut on January 31st, 2021. This one's a doozy, by the way.
Oh, God.
Dirty Bradley Bean.
Dirty Bradley Bean.
Oh, boy. When two men engage in furry sex while simultaneously screaming, and when they finish, one comes onto a Nintendo Switch.
That's oddly specific.
I don't know. That's what I thought, too. It's a specific set of circumstances you got to go through. Oh, man. Right. All right.
We appreciate you guys listening. Tune in to the next episode and follow, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
And remember, always wipe your ass.